Is this really the story of Christmas? The one we've been told for centuries, sanitized and safe, neatly packaged with a bow? Or is there a darker, richer, more complex narrative hidden beneath the surface? A story of deliberate erasure, stolen heritage, and a faith twisted to serve power? This Christmas, we confront a truth deliberately obscured, a truth that whispers in spirituals, echoes in gospel rhythms, and pulses in the heart of every Black American who has felt the sting of exclusion and the weight of invisibility. This is the story of Black Jesus, not a literal reimagining of Christ, but a reclaiming of the essence of Christmas, a message of hope, redemption, and justice, distorted and weaponized against us. For centuries, the image of Jesus Christ, the cornerstone of Christmas, has been meticulously crafted to reflect the interests of those in power. The familiar image, pale skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, is a constructed portrait, far removed from the Middle Eastern context of his birth. This image served as a symbol of European dominance, reinforcing a hierarchy where whiteness was superior and blackness inferior. It was a deliberate strategy to create a visual narrative that justified atrocities against Black people. Consider the transatlantic slave trade, a brutal enterprise fueled by a twisted theological justification. The image of a white Jesus legitimized this monstrous crime. Enslaved Africans were forced to attend services led by those who used faith to reinforce their bondage. The visual representation of their savior mirrored their oppressors, symbolizing their powerlessness. The legacy of this manipulation extended beyond slavery. During Jim Crow, the image of a white Jesus justified segregation and suppressed Black spiritual aspirations. Black churches, centers of resilience, were reminders of systemic inequalities. This image was a weapon of cultural violence, erasing Black identity from Christianity and maintaining power structures. The Vatican bears significant responsibility for this erasure. Its silence and complicity in colonial exploitation and the transatlantic slave trade are stains on its history. This reality must be confronted and addressed. But this isn't just a story of oppression. It's a story of remarkable resilience, unwavering faith, creativity, and an enduring spirit. The Black community, despite systematic suppression, forged its own expressions of faith, traditions, spiritual music, and scripture interpretations. Their faith became a beacon of hope and resistance. This Christmas, we don't just commemorate a holiday, we reclaim a history, heritage, and narrative stolen from us. We challenge the sanitized image of Christmas and demand a more accurate and inclusive understanding of the faith that sustained us. We honor those who fought, suffered, and persevered. Join us on this journey, challenge the status quo, demand justice, and embrace a more inclusive Christmas. The birth of Christ, a pivotal moment in the Judeo-Christian tradition, holds profound significance, particularly when viewed through the lens of the Black experience. While the dominant narratives often sanitize the event, focusing on idyllic imagery and sentimental narratives, a deeper examination reveals a message of radical liberation and profound social justice that deeply resonates with the struggles and triumphs of Black people throughout history. This is not merely a matter of religious interpretation, but a recognition of the inherent connection between the message of Christ and the fight for freedom and equality. The very essence of Christ's birth is a story of upheaval. He wasn't born into luxury and privilege, he was born into humble circumstances, an outsider, a refugee in a land occupied by a foreign power. This resonates deeply with the history of Black people, who have often found themselves marginalized, displaced, and denied the basic rights and privileges afforded to others. The nativity scene, often depicted in idealized terms, becomes a powerful symbol of resistance when seen through this lens, a reminder that liberation often originates from the margins, from those who are considered insignificant or powerless. Christ's teachings, throughout his ministry, consistently challenged the existing power structures of his time. He championed the poor and the marginalized, criticized the hypocrisy of religious leaders, and consistently advocated for social justice. His radical inclusivity, extending compassion and understanding to outcasts and sinners, provides a powerful counterpoint to the systemic exclusions that have plagued Black communities for centuries. His message of love, forgiveness, and redemption offers a potent antidote to the hatred, bigotry, and oppression that has defined much of their history. Furthermore, the very act of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection represents an ultimate triumph over oppression. It speaks to the enduring power of hope and faith, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. This resonates strongly with the Black experience, marked by centuries of slavery, segregation, and systemic racism. The resurrection signifies a promise of renewal, a declaration that even amid seemingly insurmountable challenges, hope remains and liberation is possible. For Black communities, the message of Christ's birth has been, and continues to be, a source of immeasurable strength and inspiration. It has fueled movements for social justice, provided solace during times of hardship, and served as a beacon of hope amidst adversity. The spirituals born out of the depths of slavery, songs of faith and resilience, are a powerful testament to the enduring power of this message. They are more than just songs, they are declarations of faith, acts of resistance, and expressions of a hope that could not be extinguished. The reinterpretations of Christmas within Black communities, including unique traditions and celebrations, represent a vibrant reclamation of the faith. These celebrations are not merely adaptations, they are powerful expressions of identity, resilience, and a conscious effort to recenter the true meaning of the message within their own cultural context. They showcase the enduring power of faith to adapt, transform, and provide sustenance even amidst overwhelming oppression. Ultimately, the importance of Christ's birth for Black people lies not in a simple, sanitized narrative, but in the continuous struggle to realize the message of justice, equality, and liberation that lies at its core. It is a message that calls us to challenge the injustices of the past and to strive for a more just and equitable future for all. It is a message that continues to inspire and empower Black communities in their ongoing fight for freedom and equality. The history of Black Americans is a tapestry woven with threads of resilience, resistance, and unwavering determination in the face of systemic oppression. From the brutal realities of chattel slavery to the ongoing fight against systemic racism, Black Americans have consistently demonstrated a profound commitment to freedom and justice, shaping the very fabric of American society through their struggles and triumphs. This legacy, marked by both immense suffering and extraordinary courage, is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The transatlantic slave trade, a brutal and dehumanizing institution, irrevocably scarred the history of Black Americans. Torn from their homes and forced into a life of servitude, they endured unimaginable suffering, yet their spirits remained unbroken. The resilience demonstrated through this period is unparalleled. They developed intricate systems of resistance, both overt and covert, preserving their cultural heritage, maintaining their faith, and passing down their traditions through generations. The spirituals, born from the depths of the slave experience, stand as powerful testimonies to this enduring faith and hope. These songs, often carrying coded messages of escape and resistance, are a poignant reminder of the unwavering belief in freedom despite their circumstances. Following the abolition of slavery, the promise of equality remained tragically unfulfilled. The era of Reconstruction, while offering a brief glimmer of hope, was ultimately short-lived, giving way to the Jim Crow South, a system of legalized segregation and oppression that effectively relegated Black Americans to second-class citizenship. This period saw the rise of violent white supremacist groups, widespread disenfranchisement, and constant threats to their safety and well-being. Even in the face of this profound injustice, the fight for equality continued. The civil rights movement of the mid-20th century stands as a pivotal moment in American history, showcasing the unwavering commitment of Black Americans to achieve equality. Led by transformative figures like Martin Luther King Jr., who championed nonviolent resistance as a powerful tool for social change, the movement mobilized millions, challenging segregation, demanding voting rights, and fighting for an end to police brutality. King's unwavering commitment to nonviolent principles, drawing upon the strength of faith and the power of community, inspired millions and continues to inspire activists today. The movement also highlighted the contributions of countless unsung heroes, ordinary people who risked their lives and livelihoods to fight for justice. Malcolm X, another iconic figure of the era, offered a more confrontational approach, advocating for black self-determination and challenging the pervasive racism in American society. His emphasis on black pride and empowerment resonated deeply with many, demonstrating that resistance could take many forms. The legacy of the civil rights movement continues to inspire activists today. The fight for racial justice remains far from over. Systemic racism continues to manifest itself in various forms, including mass incarceration, police brutality, economic inequality, and inadequate access to healthcare and education. Contemporary activists, drawing upon the rich history of their predecessors, continue to fight for a more just and equitable society. From the Black Lives Matter movement to ongoing efforts to reform the criminal justice system, the struggle for racial justice endures, fueled by the unwavering spirit and commitment to equality that has defined the Black American experience. Their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs must be remembered, celebrated, and used to inspire future generations to continue the fight for a truly just and equitable America. The celebration of Christmas, often presented as a time of peace and goodwill, carries a complex and often painful history for Black people. While the holiday's message of hope and redemption resonates universally, its practice has been deeply intertwined with systems of oppression, necessitating a critical examination of its historical context. This requires acknowledging the complicity of various institutions, including the church, the structures of white supremacy, and the commercialization of the holiday itself. The church, seen as a moral beacon, has a history of complicity in oppressing Black people. While Christianity offered solace and resistance for many enslaved Africans, the institutional church often failed to challenge slavery and white supremacy. Some denominations supported slavery, twisting biblical texts for justification, and many religious leaders remained silent, allowing systemic racism to persist. This complicity demands critical examination and reckoning. White supremacy has influenced the celebration of Christmas. The image of a white Jesus reinforced white dominance and marginalized Black communities, contributing to the erasure of Black identity. The commercialization of Christmas obscures its deeper spiritual meaning. The focus on consumerism overshadows themes of faith and social justice, creating a profit-driven narrative. This commercialization targets Black communities, exploiting cultural identity and perpetuating inequalities, ignoring historical and economic disparities. The Vatican, as the historical center of the Catholic Church, also bears a significant burden of responsibility for its historical role in colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade. While some individual figures within the Church actively opposed slavery, the institution as a whole often remained silent or actively supported colonial powers that benefited from the exploitation of African people. The lack of a strong and timely condemnation of slavery, coupled with the Church's involvement in colonial ventures, constitutes a profound moral failing that has had devastating consequences for Black communities across the globe. This historical complicity must be acknowledged and addressed as part of a broader reckoning with the legacy of colonialism and its lasting impact. The pain and suffering inflicted upon Black people through these interwoven systems of oppression cannot be minimized. The deliberate erasure of Black identity, the distortion of the Christmas message, and the complicity of powerful institutions have created deep wounds that require acknowledgement, healing, and meaningful change. A genuine reconciliation requires a critical and unflinching examination of the past, a commitment to truth, and a willingness to actively challenge the systems and structures that perpetuate injustice. Only then can we move towards a more authentic and inclusive celebration of Christmas, one that reflects the richness of human experience and acknowledges the contributions of all. The history of Black people is not merely a chronicle of suffering and oppression, it is a testament to remarkable resilience, unwavering faith, and extraordinary cultural contributions. Despite facing centuries of systemic racism, slavery, and discrimination, Black communities have not only survived but thrived, creating vibrant cultures, powerful artistic expressions, and enduring spiritual traditions that continue to inspire and enrich the world. This rich legacy of resilience and achievement deserves to be celebrated with pride. The resilience of Black people is evident in their ability to maintain their cultural identities, even in the face of brutal attempts at assimilation and erasure. From the intricate patterns of African textiles to the soulful rhythms of gospel music, Black culture demonstrates an enduring spirit that refused to be extinguished. The preservation of oral traditions, storytelling, and unique artistic expressions served as crucial tools for maintaining cultural identity and transmitting knowledge across generations, even when formal education was denied or limited. These cultural expressions served not only as forms of self-expression but also as vehicles for resistance, carrying coded messages of hope and resistance in the face of oppression. The spiritual strength of Black communities has been a cornerstone of their resilience. With faith, often expressed through vibrant religious practices and powerful spiritual music, provided solace, community, and a framework for resistance. Black churches, often serving as centers of community life, played a vital role in providing support, fostering solidarity, and organizing movements for social justice. The power of collective faith and the shared experience of worship provided strength and encouragement, allowing communities to persevere despite the hardships they faced. Spirituals, gospel music, and other forms of religious expression became powerful tools for communication. Resilience, and a declaration of faith that refused to be silenced. The artistic contributions of Black people have enriched global culture immeasurably. From the profound works of literature by Nobel laureates like Toni Morrison to the groundbreaking achievements in music, art, and dance, Black artists have consistently pushed boundaries and reshaped the cultural landscape. Their creativity, often born from struggle and adversity, has produced works of immense beauty, power, and enduring significance. These artistic expressions served as forms of resistance, a way to challenge the dominant narrative and express the unique experiences of Black people. This powerful creative force, fueled by resilience and pride, continues to influence and inspire countless artists across the globe. The contributions of Black people extend beyond the arts and culture. They have profoundly shaped the political and social landscape of America and the world. The fight for civil rights, led by courageous activists and organizers, resulted in landmark victories that improved the lives of millions and changed the course of history. The unwavering commitment to equality, justice, and freedom demonstrated by these activists serves as an inspiration for contemporary movements for social change. Their efforts have created lasting changes, although the fight for full and complete equality continues. The enduring resilience of Black people is not merely a matter of surviving oppression. It is about actively shaping a better future. The ongoing efforts to fight systemic racism, advocate for social justice, and create more equitable societies reflect this commitment. The vibrant cultures, artistic expressions, and spiritual traditions of Black communities represent a powerful legacy of endurance, creativity, and a profound belief in the power of hope. This legacy of resilience, strength, and cultural richness serves as a source of immense pride for Black people around the world, and should be recognized and celebrated by all. Healing the deep societal divisions caused by centuries of racism and oppression requires a multifaceted approach that addresses both the historical injustices and the ongoing systemic inequalities that continue to impact Black communities. This process of healing and reconciliation demands a commitment to truth, justice, and meaningful change, moving beyond superficial gestures toward genuine transformation. A crucial first step is a truthful historical reckoning. This means confronting the uncomfortable realities of slavery, colonialism, Jim Crow, and the ongoing legacy of systemic racism. It requires a commitment to teaching accurate and comprehensive history in schools and public spaces, acknowledging the painful realities of the past and challenging the narratives that have minimized or ignored the experiences of Black people. This truthful historical reckoning must not shy away from difficult truths, including the complicity of various institutions and individuals in perpetuating injustice. Museums, educational institutions, and public memorials can play critical roles in this process, providing spaces for remembrance, reflection, and education. Beyond acknowledging past injustices, dismantling systemic racism requires addressing the ongoing inequalities embedded in various aspects of society. This includes reforming the criminal justice system, addressing mass incarceration rates and police brutality disproportionately affecting Black communities. It also involves tackling economic inequality, which has resulted in significant disparities in wealth, access to education, healthcare, and housing. These systemic issues cannot be solved through individual acts of charity. They require comprehensive policy changes, legal reforms, and institutional restructuring to address the root causes of inequality. Economic justice is an essential component of healing. This means actively working to address the historical and ongoing economic disparities that have disadvantaged Black communities. This involves creating opportunities for Black-owned businesses, implementing fair housing policies, and ensuring equal access to education and employment opportunities. Furthermore, reparations for the historical injustices of slavery and systemic racism should be considered, as a means of acknowledging the lasting economic consequences of these crimes and providing restorative justice. These reparations should not simply be monetary, they should also involve investments in Black communities. Ensuring access to resources and opportunities. Truth and Reconciliation Commissions, which have been successfully implemented in other countries grappling with similar histories of conflict and oppression, could be invaluable in the American context. These commissions offer a structured process for victims to share their stories, for perpetrators to acknowledge their wrongdoing, and for society to engage in a broader process of healing and reconciliation. Such a commission would need to be established with genuine participation from Black communities, ensuring that their voices and perspectives are central to the process. Alongside institutional changes, fostering genuine empathy and understanding is crucial for healing. This requires fostering meaningful dialogue and creating spaces where people from different backgrounds can engage in constructive conversations about race and racism. Education plays a crucial role in promoting empathy and understanding, providing tools and frameworks for people to better understand the historical and ongoing impacts of racism. Moreover, promoting intercultural understanding and celebrating the richness of Black culture can create a more inclusive and equitable society. To Black Americans, descendants of a lineage forged in the crucible of resilience and resistance, this message carries the weight of history and the hope of a brighter future. Your heritage is not merely a collection of past events, it is a vibrant tapestry woven from threads of unwavering faith, extraordinary creativity, and unyielding determination. It is a legacy of struggle, triumph, and enduring strength that deserves to be embraced with pride and celebrated with unwavering conviction. Your ancestors, facing unimaginable hardships and systemic oppression, endured slavery, Jim Crow, and countless other forms of discrimination. Yet they persevered, preserving their culture, maintaining their faith, and passing down their traditions through generations. They fought for freedom and equality, often at great personal risk, leaving behind a legacy of courage, determination, and unwavering hope that continues to inspire generations. Their sacrifices, their struggles, and their triumphs must never be forgotten. They are the foundation upon which your identity is built, the source of your strength, and the inspiration for your continued pursuit of justice. Embrace your heritage with unshakable pride. Your history is not simply a matter of historical record, it is the very essence of your being. It is reflected in the rich tapestry of your cultural expressions, the soulful rhythms of gospel music, the intricate patterns of African textiles, the vibrant storytelling traditions, and the unique artistic expressions that have shaped global culture. These cultural manifestations are not merely artifacts of the past, they are living testaments to your resilience and creativity, carrying the voices and experiences of your ancestors. Embrace these traditions, learn from them, and pass them on to future generations, ensuring that your heritage remains a vibrant and ever-evolving legacy. The journey toward a more just and equitable society requires a profound reckoning with the past, a commitment to truth, and a willingness to actively dismantle the systems that perpetuate injustice. This journey necessitates a fundamental shift in perspective, prioritizing the voices, experiences, and needs of Black Americans, whose contributions have been historically marginalized and whose resilience has shaped the very fabric of American society. Reconciliation with history is not simply an act of acknowledging past wrongs, it is a continuous process of learning, understanding, and making amends. It demands a commitment to truth-telling, to accurately representing the experiences of Black Americans throughout history, and to dismantling the myths and narratives that have minimized their contributions and obscured their suffering. This process requires engaging with uncomfortable truths, confronting systemic racism in all its forms, and actively working to create spaces for genuine dialogue and understanding. It is a collective responsibility, requiring the active participation of all members of society. Prioritizing Black Americans in this process of reconciliation is not about exclusion, it is about centering the voices and experiences that have been historically marginalized. It acknowledges the profound and lasting impact of systemic racism and the need to address the ongoing inequalities that disproportionately affect Black communities. This prioritization does not diminish the experiences of other marginalized groups, rather, it recognizes the unique historical context of Black Americans within the American narrative and the urgency of addressing the systemic issues that specifically impact them. It is a recognition of the historical and ongoing injustice that demands redress. The assertion that Black people were the first inhabitants of the Americas is historically inaccurate. While this statement may be used rhetorically to emphasize the long and enduring plea of Black people in the Americas, dating back centuries before the arrival of Europeans and even before the Vikings, it's crucial to ground the narrative in factual accuracy. The true history of human settlement in the Americas is complex and nuanced, and requires a careful and accurate presentation that honors the diverse indigenous populations and their histories. Advancing American society requires a fundamental shift away from systems of oppression and towards a vision of inclusive justice. This involves dismantling systemic racism in all its forms, ensuring equal access to education, healthcare, employment, and housing for all, regardless of race. It also means creating a society that values diversity, celebrates the richness of different cultures, and actively works to dismantle the structures of power that perpetuate inequality. It necessitates a renewed commitment to democratic principles, ensuring that all voices are heard and that all citizens have the opportunity to participate fully in the democratic process. Cooperation between Christians and Jews, and indeed people of all faiths and backgrounds, is essential for building a more just and equitable society. The shared values of compassion, justice, and peace provide a common ground upon which to build bridges of understanding and cooperation. Interfaith dialogue can play a crucial role in promoting mutual respect, countering prejudice, and fostering a shared commitment to creating a society where all people can live with dignity and freedom. This cooperation is not simply a matter of religious tolerance, it is a necessary ingredient for the transformative change that is required. The path forward requires sustained commitment, courageous action, and a shared willingness to confront the difficult truths of the past and work collaboratively to build a brighter future. The legacy of Black Americans, their resilience, their creativity, their unwavering commitment to justice, must serve as an inspiration, guiding us toward a society where all people can live with dignity, freedom, and equality. This is not merely a call for reconciliation, it is a call for a radical transformation of American society, one that honors the past, embraces the present, and builds a truly just and equitable future for all.